Hi, this is Wasabi. Hope you're doing well. Today is June 14th. It has now been 48 hours since the Reddit protest has started, and well, it's not looking too good. Honestly, it's probably not going to work. But let me explain. So, in case you're not aware, let me catch you up to speed real quick. Pretty much, Reddit wanted to start charging abnormally high prices for their API, enough to outprice all the third party developers who had apps. Pretty much a way to force them to quit making their app so that people would only use the main app. And so it created a whole shitstorm. People started to do a protest. So, June 12th until the 14th was supposed to be a 48-hour protest, kind of to show Reddit, hey, we can take down your website if you don't actually try and work with these third party developers. On the other hand, they also used the mod tools as well, too, that Reddit's own actual official tools aren't like well enough. So moderators were using third-party tools to make their experience better, and for some of them, it was the only way to even moderate some of the huge servers. So that was the whole point, was to try and make a point to Reddit admins, Spez, Reddit CEO, be like, hey, you need to get with the fucking program and actually find a middle ground to work with these developers, or else we're going to keep your website shut down. That was the idea of it. But in reality, it hasn't really worked out that well. So one of the main issues with this protest was the fact that it had an end date. It had 48 hours to end, and people are going to be like, hey, Reddit don't comply after 48 hours. Guess what? We're going back online. Now, when you hear me say that, you're probably thinking that's fucking stupid. What's the point of having an end date to your protest? Why even do a protest to begin with? Well, apparently it was to create a message, but for anyone who has talked about this subject, just like me or anybody else, we said that that's stupid. You need to have a indefinite blackout, not a we're going to end this in a couple hours, guys. We know we all want to come back and start browsing Reddit again. Yeah, it's like an addiction. I get it. I understand it. That's how I am with Reddit too, but I'm not going to die over it. I can go to some other forum, or I can just browse YouTube. But anyway, the reason why I say this is because Reddit CEO actually made a statement on this. So Monday afternoon, an internal memo was sent to Reddit employees that was talking about the entire situation that went down. And so Steve, the CEO of Reddit, Spez, he said, there's a lot of noise with this one. Among the noises we've seen, please know this, our teams are on it, and like all blowups on Reddit, this one will pass as well. The most important things we can do right now are stay focused, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward. We absolutely must ship what we said we would. The only long-term solution is to improve on our product, and in the short term, we have a few upcoming critical mod tools launches we need to nail. While the two biggest apps, Apollo and Reddit is fun, along with a couple others, have said they plan to shut down at the end of the month, we are still in conversation with some of the others. Who is it? I said them like the last a billion videos I made on this topic, but who are they? Because he said, as I mentioned in my post last week, dog, you didn't say any of them. You didn't mention any. You just said that you're talking to apps. Who? Put names out there. Anyways, he continues by saying we will exempt accessibility focused apps and so far have agreements with Red Reader and Dystopia. I'm sorry to say this, but please be mindful of wearing Reddit gear in public. Some folks are really upset and we don't want you to be the object of their frustration. Again, we'll get you through it. Thank you for all of you for helping us do so. Anyways, the crux of his post is pretty much telling all of the people on Reddit, even though they can't see it technically because it's an internal memo, he's pretty much saying, oh, y'all are weak, y'all are soft-willed, y'all are going to cave in, you're just going to come back in a couple hours or a couple days. This is not a really big deal. It's not going to hurt our revenue. So who cares? And that's the entire reason why he said it right here. We have not seen any significant revenue impact so far, and we will continue to monitor. That literally tells you all that. That's pretty much what he's saying. He's saying, hey, so far since this has started, even though that was on the 12th that he sent that memo out, he was like, there's no revenue impact. We're not suffering anything yet. But that was if subreddits continue to actually follow through and stay in this blackout, which a majority have kind of backed. Not all of them. It's not every single one of them. So at the current time me making this video, it's currently like 10 a.m. in the morning. It's like June 14th. Here's what we have. It is currently 6,345 subreddits out of 8,829 that are currently dark. So there's not too many that have gone dark anymore. Some have gone public, like it shows right here. Yeti Coolest has gone public. Some have gone restricted. Fun Size has gone public. There's a lot of different subreddits that are going public again. They pretty much said, all right, well, 48 hours is up, guys. Let's fuck this. And that's kind of the whole situation. It's not good. If you literally just go back public after 48 hours, especially after Reddit CEO said, fuck y'all are weak, y'all aren't going to actually stick through this, then it kind of proves his point, and it makes the whole point of even doing the 48-hour protest useless. Honestly, I think this is a better way to do it. One of the subs I stay on PC Gaming, they made a statement and said, hey, PC gaming is going to remain closed until June 19th or until the Reddit admins come to the table with reasonable API pricing. So pretty much they said due to Reddit's unwillingness to adopt a more reasonable API pricing structure, the PC gaming mod team has decided to stand with the rest of the Reddit moderator community in extending our blackout. We take our commitment to our users very seriously. The user makes our community what it is, and Reddit's decision to kill third-party apps affects a significant amount of them. We can't let that go unchallenged. And so they're going to keep PC gaming restricted for the rest of today. The 14th, it will become private once more, starting on the 15th. We'll remain this way until the 19th when we will reopen. We hope you stand by us. And so here's the problem. It's when you say we will reopen. Now, you say until the 19th, or until Reddit admins come to the table. I hope that that's like the actual real answer, and that's what they really do, because that's how you really put your foot down. But that is at least better to an extent. But when you sit there and say that we have this deadline, that's when we're going to come back, I feel like they do that for like the users, like, hey, our sub isn't going to go away permanently, guys. We'll come back on the 19th, maybe. You know, it defeats the whole purpose. And then you have Photoshop battles. Photoshop battles is kind of the same way, but I think they went a little bit better on how they did it. So here's what they did. They let their subs stay up, but the only thing they could do is shit posts. This is what they allow. PS battle, this cute cat that you could see if Reddit apps actually worked. Photo of Spez drafting the staff email saying the blackout will pass. This very sad Corgi trying to use the Reddit third-party app. Pretty much is all just black photos with text on them. It's pretty much just the signal to blackout. So I think that's very useful. I think another idea that I thought was kind of cool was to have the subreddit stay open but restricted. Nothing can be posted at all. No new content can be made, but all the past content can still exist. I thought that's it's kind of like a middle ground for those who still need information. You can go get it, but you can't actually use the app anymore. You can't actually post anything. You can't comment. And so it still somewhat sends a message without going fully private and blocking out all information, because I get it. There are people who want to use that info. But overall, I don't really know if this is really going to stay through. You got some subreddits that acted like they're the holy messiah, they're God, and that their sub cannot close under any circumstance. There are some exceptions, of course. People have already talked about some of the war-centric ones that are like news-oriented to really get news out there. Those, it kind of gets like a pass. But for ones that aren't that important, like r/games, the motherfuckers said, hey, it's Summer Games Fest. There's so many new games coming out. We cannot close down. Dog, you know how many fucking gaming channels that are out there? IGN, they got their own website. People don't need to go to r/games to get their news. They can go somewhere else. You're not that important. But anyways, those are just things that kind of defeat the whole purpose of this blackout. And I really feel like it's going to fail, especially when people keep adding deadlines. Just say that you're going to stay shut down indefinitely unless Reddit actually comes to a decision or a agreement with the third-party developers. And then you can sit there and come back. But when you give a deadline, you kind of defeats the whole purpose of this, and it makes the whole blackout that you did worthless. It's kind of like the Street Fighter sub. They say, here's our current possibilities for future protesting. 1, going in archival mode, no submissions or comments. 2, touch grass Tuesdays, private mode every Tuesday. If you're only going to do it once a week, it doesn't serve a purpose. You might as well not even do it at all. Like literally, it serves no purpose, because 1, you're not going to have everybody on board, so you just going dark out of like a million other subs. It defeats the purpose of what you're trying to protest. And to be honest, if you came back this early, then it defeats the whole purpose of even going on a blackout. They said we decided to open back up solely because Street Fighter 6 is so new. It's a video game, dog. It's not like critical information. This isn't like must break in news. You need to be on our Reddit right now to get all this information. It just screams, hey, the game is new. We know people want to go to our subreddit, so we need to open it back up so we have people posting left and right. I don't know. It's wild to me to see people do shit like this. I mean, you could have promoted your Discord instead. Sit there and, because they have a good option, going in archival mode, no submissions or comments. I say do that and tell people to go to your Discord instead. I think that's a way better option, but that's just me. Anyways, yeah, I don't really think this is going to work out in the long term. There's too many people like r/Street Fighter and r/gaming that feel like the things that are posted on their sub is too important, and you know what, everything else doesn't matter. And to the people who get this far into the video, if you're wondering why it matters so much, it's because you set a precedent. When you let things like this happen, if you don't stand your ground, you don't stand with the other subreddits, then later on, you're going to have more shitty changes come by, and it's going to be ones that will be probably even worse than this one, ones that actually will affect you. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to want to protest that, because it's going to come a day. It'll probably happen, maybe not today, tomorrow, but one day it will happen. And you're going to wonder, why isn't everyone else standing with me? And then people are going to point back to this and be like, well, you didn't stand with us. You caved in, even though this was like the easiest way to stop future things happening. When you send a message and you prove that, hey, you fuck with us, this is what's going to happen. It sends a message, and then stops Reddit from wanting to try other things in the future. But when you don't stand with subreddits right now, ones that are, especially the big ones, because there are still big ones that have stayed private. When you don't stand with them, then you kind of just show Reddit that they can run over you and do whatever change they want, and they don't care what's going to happen. It's like the sponsored content situation with Twitch last week, where Twitch was trying to push new decisions, and a lot of people were not on board, and so you had streamers threatening to leave Twitch. Some already left Twitch. You know, it's that type of standing your ground is what's needed. Because guess what? If no streamers stood their ground and they all said, well, fuck it, whatever, I guess, and they just let it go by, that tells Twitch is all right. They can just keep pushing more city changes. But when you have the backlash that happened last week, and you had so many said, fuck this, then it kind of makes the company, you know, step back and be like, oh shit, oh, whoa, all right, hey, I didn't expect people to do this much shit. They have to go back and think again on how they're going to tackle this or approach this. And that's what people are trying to do on Reddit. But when you don't have everyone stand their ground, and you don't have all the subreddits come together, then you won't be able to get an actual change that will benefit all the users on the platform. So yeah, just want to give some food for thought for that. Anyways, yeah, let's see what happens. Bye-bye.